Whether you're an altaholic that is completely addicted to leveling, or a casual player that just levels for the fun of it every now and then, the War Within expansion is extremely alt-friendly. In this video, we're going to cover the fastest way to level from 70 to 80, and then also the fastest way to get up that item level in preparation for Season 1, or just doing a catch-up in case you're watching this video once the raid has already been released. We're also going to be covering the warband system and how it interacts with each of our characters. With the War Within expansion, all of our characters are going to receive some account-wide benefits that had only been dreamt of in the past. This includes gear that is shareable between characters, transmogs that are rollable by any character, and certain currencies and reputations that are shared as well, making our life and thus our experience within the game while playing an alt much more enjoyable. One thing that should be noted is once you receive a max level, or in this case a level 80 character, other alts in your warband will receive a 5% experience boost. At one level 80, my others will receive 5%, if I have 2, they will receive 10%, and if I have 3, the final will receive a 15% warband experience boost while leveling. One of the main things coming in warbands is the actual warband bank. These are special bank tabs which can be purchased at any bank in any city and allows you to deposit items that are warband bound from one character and then withdraw them on another character. A good example of this is the new Warbound gear that is BOE but Warbound, and also things like Marks of Honor and some of the new currencies like Kej. Also, staying true to the promise of account-wide progression, any faction reputation that is gained on one character in your warband will be shared among all of your characters in the warband. Upon logging in, you can check for mail from the warband person in Gadgetzan in Tanaris. Now, this is a very short 5-6 minute questline that will allow you to get the warband bank distance inhibitor. This allows anyone to spawn a warband bank right at their feet no matter where they are. Think the Molly mailbox from the engineering profession. This is really cool and it takes very little time to do. However, it's not required. With many of the new warband features that we see in the War Within being utility focused, we do actually get one that is purely cosmetic as well. Transmogs are now account-wide shareable. Transmogs being account-wide means that we can roll on and collect gear on one character and then see that in our transmog screen on all of our alts. One thing that is also cool that's not really to do with warbands but is with the War Within is you no longer have to equip said item to actually gain the transmog effect. That means those BOEs that we would have looted and then equipped to get the transmog and then sadly had to vendor for little to no gold at all, we can now just collect, have the transmog once they hit our bags, and then sell that BOE. Now, don't worry, one of the biggest questions is, will I have to do any part of the campaign before actually getting to Dornagal and being able to queue for dungeons and all of that quick leveling that we love to do so much? And the answer is no. You will be directed to Silithus to speak with Jaina, and from there you can do a complete skip straight to the Isle of Dorn, straight to Dornagal, and straight into dungeon queues. Now, a lot of people don't really enjoy questing, and the best part about this is you really don't have to. Once you get to Dornagal and the Isle of Dorn, you have the option to go meet the Nerubians and the defensive on the shore, or you can go straight into dungeons, straight into battlegrounds, and with that at least 5% warbound or warband experience bonus you're getting, it's going to make leveling extremely fast. Now, as it stands, without the 5, 10, 15, or 20% warband boost, purely dungeon farming once you get in with a full set group that just goes takes about 3 hours to get from level 70 to level 80, and this is even with the post XP nerf that they did right after early access was over. Man, that was weird. It's early access, quick leveling. After early access, we're gonna nerf the XP. Anyways, it is very, very easy to get from 70 to 80 in right around 3 hours just farming the dungeons. Best part about that is you are going to be earning the Valor Stones on your way up, which is going to help you immediately upgrade your gear when you hit level 80. That gear that you're going to be collecting along the way, and the gear that you're going to start farming once you hit level cap. Once your alt does hit level 80, it's time to look at the professions, as we can almost immediately get a spark to make a crafted piece of gear right around eye level 596, which is massive. Hitting level 80, crafting a piece that is 596. Luckily, we are at the point in the campaign or the unlocked campaign that we can almost immediately get that first spark right when we hit 80. Another thing we can do is look for the world quests special assignments. These special assignments will pop up and grant a locked world chest behind a quest and 3 world quests in the area before we can get that. Through that, our first 2 chests every week will give us a piece of adventurer gear. It's not said whether this will increase in eye level as the season continues, but no matter if it does or if it doesn't, it will be a great and very simple piece of starter gear to get right when you hit 80. When it comes to farming dungeons for gear, currently in preseason, we have normal dungeons starting at 554 item level drops with heroic starting at 571. And while the normal dungeon gear cannot be upgraded through Valor Stones and Crests, the heroic 571 will start at Adventurer 1 out of 8 and can go up to 593. However, when Mythic comes out, we already see somewhat of a loot table or an eye level table, as a Keystone 2 and 3 will start at 597 with the initial Champion 1 out of 8, and completing these Keystones will ensure 606 item level gear coming from the Great Vault, all the way up to a Mythic plus 10, starting at an item level, and this is staggering, 613, offering a 623 Great Vault reward. Now, are you going to be pushing an M plus 10 right at the start of the season on an alt? Probably not. Are you going to be pushing maybe 2 through 5? Sure, why not? And there are some great gear rewards from it, not only from the dungeon themselves, but also from that Great Vault. Not to mention, with Season 1, we will have the release of Nerubar Palace, with normal starting at 613 eye level, going to 626 for heroic, 639 for mythic, and short time after starting at 600 for LFR. So just remember, when you are getting 597 eye level from an M plus 3 key or 600 item level from a plus 4, that 600 eye level will also be available in LFR as well. Finally, we have the easiest item level 584 gear that you can acquire depending on the renown you have gained with your main character. Now, the Aj Kahet faction right now is not offering one until a much higher renown, but through the Ringing Deeps, through Hollowfall, and through Dornagal, you can get a 584 epic piece of gear right out of the bat, which makes it one of the easiest bits of gear you'll acquire.